Hello of commas. Since we have officially completed our study of commas, I figured tonight's Monday night podcast would focus on just a review of all of the different rules because I know that we've learned so many rules and I think it's a good thing to just basically take the time to reflect on all the amazing comma rules that we've done and really kind of like help, put them into our memory to just really help improve our writing for the future. So the first one is really just to kind of like review. It's items in a series. Now I only put in here the example of between words that we basically, with 3 or more words, we always put commas in a series between words, between phrases. So the Nina, comma, Pinta, comma, and the Santa Maria were the different ships that sailed across the Atlantic Ocean. I just realized that I actually do have a typo where it should be W-E-R-E as opposed to W-H-E-R-E. A way that I will know that you've watched this podcast is I would like on a Post-it or a piece of paper to please write a sentence that shows this comma rule using phrases. Since I only showed this comma rule using words, please show me a sentence that shows this rule using a phrase. So for example, I went to the store, comma, bought a chocolate sandwich. That's not really a thing. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired. I went to the store, comma, bought a chocolate bar, comma, and got milk, period. So those are 3 phrases. So I would like you to, on a Post-it, to please write a sentence using 3 phases using this comma rule. Okay, let's continue. Rule number 2 is something that you all know from math, that you basically put commas to kind of make your numbers clear. You basically count 3 every 3, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Here it's a 3 million. You can't go 1, 2, 3. So that's where the comma is. Good. Rule number 3. This is our lovely AWABIS rule, which really is such a critical rule to know in terms of making our writing sophisticated. Introductory clause and the rest of the sentence. When the web is finished, so when, first of all, whoopsies, when is an example of an AWABIS? It's kind of like that trigger word. The web is finished as our introductory clause. Comma, then we have basically the rest of a sentence, which is really an independent clause. The spider has a place to live. The second part of a sentence is really like the standalone sentence. And the first part of the sentence is not a standalone sentence. It's not really a sentence. It's trigger word, introductory clause, comma, independent clause. What are some of the trigger words? It's that AWABIS that we keep on hearing after, although also when, while, because, before, if, since, so. This is the one situation where you can start a sentence with because if you follow this rule of trigger word, introductory clause, comma, independent clause. Because I am so tired, comma, I should really go to sleep, period. Okay, what's the next rule? Our fanboys rule. So this is a case where you actually have complete sentences on either side of the fanboys. Independent clause, comma, fanboys, which are basically coordinating conjunctions for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And then an independent clause, which is also a standalone sentence. I went to the park, comma, so I got a sunburn. Not really today when it's really cold, but in theory, maybe when it's 80-degree weather in July, then I would get a sunburn. So either side of the fanboys needs to be an independent clause, which means either side of the fanboys needs to be a complete sentence. To separate, rule number 5 is a positives. What are positives? They basically are replacing the noun. My daughters, comma, Chani and Ahuva. I feel like you guys have seen this sentence so many times. Comma are sleeping. Chani and Ahuva equal daughters. It's just kind of adding more details. If I took out Chani and Ahuva, the sentence would still make sense. If I switched it around, Chani and Ahuva, comma, my daughters, comma, are sleeping would still make sense. These are all different test cases to know if it's a positive. And finally, the last rule that we're learning in 6th grade is between 2 or more adjectives that equally describe the same noun. The funny, comma, sweet girl went to the store. Funny and sweet are both adjectives. They're both describing girl, which is the noun. Yes, in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, maybe I would have written the funny and sweet girl went to the store. However, now that we're in 6th grade and we're writing with more sophisticated writing, we just need to put a comma in between the 2 adjectives. So just to quickly review, rule number 1 is that we put commas in items in a series or items in a between words and phrases. When we have 3 or more words or phrases, we separate them with commas. Rule number 2 is when we is with numbers. Every 3 we put a comma. Rule number 3 is trigger word, introductory clause, comma, independent clause. The trigger words are the awebises. Rule number 4 is in a compound sentence with using fanboys, coordinating conjunctions, independent clause, comma, fanboys, independent clause. Rule number 5 is appositives, which basically replace the noun. It's basically kind of give it more detail. And finally, between 2 or more adjectives. I think this will really hopefully be our last Monday night podcast for commas. So you should feel really good about yourself. Stay tuned for next year at an 8th grade when you guys will just have more comma review. But I am so proud of the tremendous work that you've done in improving your writing. And I can't wait to see it just continue to get better and better. Have a wonderful night. This is Mrs. Kurtz signing off.